Hey everybody, Dr. Wendy Askew here again. Thanks for checking into The Whole Truth. I'm here with Anna Diaz, our nutrition expert guest, here to talk about food, to do some myth busting, talk about some of the things that we think we're eating that are healthy when in fact they may not be, and show a little bit about how to look at your labels carefully so that you can optimize your nutrition and make the smartest choices possible when you're shopping and buying food to feed yourself and your family. So here we go, trying to educate, empower, and entertain. And I have bought some commonly consumed foods, and some of these foods are not like the others. Some of these are good, some of these are bad. But take a look and tell me what you think. Any thoughts about the breads? People eat a lot of bread and they think they're eating healthy.
Yes. So whether it's white bread or whole wheat bread, it's all basically the same thing. Like we touched on earlier, you really want to consume a high amount of fiber every day. So if you are going to take in bread, really look at getting a high fiber bread. You want at least, if you can do at least half of it in fiber or as close as possible to your carbohydrate, that would be great. Dr. Wendy Askew knows a great equation for that.
I do. I learned this at a functional medicine conference on weight management that I attended last year, and I thought it was really useful. But we want to, I just wanted to touch about the sugars, right?
Yes.
Because all of the carbohydrates, sometimes people think, and when I ask them, well, do you eat a lot of sugar? Sometimes I'll just throw that word out there, not remembering that not everybody has a good background in these subjects. And so they go, no, I hardly eat any sugar. I never eat chocolate. I don't drink any sodas. And they think that's very good. And I go, well, great. Tell me what you had for breakfast. I had maybe oatmeal and a couple pieces of toast and some orange juice. For lunch, I had a salad and a sandwich. And for dinner, you know, dinner is usually my heaviest meal of the day. And we usually have a little bit more like noodles and stuff like that. And,
Sugar.
So I have to keep my game face on because every single thing that they just said is sugar. And now then you have to dig deeper. And I say, okay, oatmeal. The toast, you know, it's not that many breads that are really high in fiber, but tell me about your oatmeal, because if you're eating the Quaker oatmeal packets, that's almost all sugar. And that's why everybody loves it. It tastes delicious because it tastes like sugar to our body. But the oats themselves are a whole grain and they do have some fiber in them. But when you dilute that out with 50% sweeteners and sugars, you really sacrifice the value of your food. The sandwiches again, often the bread, you know, takes over the majority of the calories in that meal. Then you put a fatty mayonnaise or some kind of a dressing on it. Then you have a bunch of meat and cheese, and then only like maybe a slice of a tomato or a piece of lettuce. And you know, I've had patients actually cry when I kind of dissect their meal. And because they're so sad, they think they're doing something really good for themselves. And when I try to gently show them, like, you have got great intentions, and I am really proud of you for caring and considering what you're doing, but this is how the food industry has tricked you. So back to our fiber and sugar equation. Now, reading the labels is critical on your food because sometimes you'd be shocked. You will be shocked when I show you. Some of these breads are not as bad as I thought. But what you want to look at is the total carbohydrate. And so for this commonly consumed brand, it has 17 grams of carbohydrates. That's a sugar to our body per slice. Now, remember that when we look at the fiber in that amount of food and calories, that gets taken away because the fiber causes our body to absorb the sugar more slowly. It's got very good health benefits to us. And so, but this one only has 3 grams of fiber. Now, this particular loaf I thought was interesting because it makes a point here to put in a bright label. You're getting 9 grams of whole grains per slice. 9 grams of whole grains, that sounds great, right? Whole grain must equal fiber. So I flip it around. This one's got 14 grams of carbohydrates per slice, 1 gram of fiber. So the amount of whole grains means nothing. You need to look at the label and see what the fiber content is, and the higher the fiber, the better for your body.
And what's ironic is these two breads, this one looks healthier than this one, but they actually have the same content in total carbohydrate and fiber, 14 total and 1 gram of fiber. So this one's giving the illusion of being healthier, while it has the same carbs and very low amount of fiber in it.
See, and people don't know that. Like for me, if I'm gonna get a big sugar spike, I'm gonna eat a piece of white bread. You know, although I like the taste of some whole grains. But as someone who has tons of background in diabetes, I used to tell people this too. I read a study one time where the way they make wheat now, they take away all the fiber from it, they refine it, they bleach it out, stuff like that. Then they add colors back. But eating a slice of wheat bread can give you as high of a glucose spike as eating a Snickers. So I was horrified to learn that.
That's completely true.
So what you want to do with my little equation is take the total number of carbohydrates and divide it by the number of grams of fiber. So for example, if I have got a piece of bread with 17 grams of carbohydrate sugar divided by 3, I'm going to get here 5, remainder, 2. Now, if you can eat a food that has less than 5 as the equation result, that's very good. You're getting a lot of fiber relative to sugar. That's good. If it's less than 10, it's okay. But if it's greater than 10, it's sugar. It's sugar, and if you're just eating for the sake of feeling full and not any nod to your health, then go ahead and eat the Snickers bar instead. I mean, there's just not any benefit to you. We wanted to talk about some of the other things. People think that they eat a bran muffin, and that's really healthy because it has the word bran in it. This one is banana, but this has got 67 grams of carbohydrates in it. That's more than I should eat in a whole day. That is like horrific. I'm just like, I want nothing to do with that piece of food. That is awful.
And the chocolate is 66 grams.
Less than the one that's got bananas in it.
So you would think that the banana would be healthier, but it's slightly a little bit less.
Not at all. And then my daughter was disappointed when she came in and she goes, "Oh, you bought that probiotic juice that I like." And I was like, "Baby, I brought that as a way to show them of unhealthy things." This is what the food industry has done. It is a science. They market things to us, telling us how healthy they are. Look, I put probiotics in this. Great, probiotics. Can I even absorb them? Are they even bioavailable to me? I don't know, but it does have 38 grams of sugar. That's like eating a Kit Kat, you know? I mean,
this is what you would give a type 1 diabetic or a type 2 diabetic who's having a low blood sugar or a hypoglycemic event. You want to give them orange juice or another type of juice or a soda because this is quickly absorbed through the body and into the bloodstream. So it gives a high glycemic response. And that's why people who have low blood sugars, this is a go-to.
That's their rescue, right? When they need it. Now, with respect to like, look, what about I want to give my kids something to drink in their lunch. This is the organic brand of apple juice, right? And fruit juices in general, it's all sugar. The way they make them is terrible, but organic is always, always better and very important for reasons we'll touch on later. But this bottle or little box of juice has got 18 grams of carbohydrates, 17 grams of sugar.
Any fiber?
Nothing, no.
See, and the thing is, apples are very high in fiber. So if something naturally has certain macro ingredients or certain vitamins and minerals, you want to see that on the food label because anything processed is not going to be as clean and as whole as a natural product, like a natural apple. But if you're going to get a processed version or a packaged version of it, you want to try to see that it matches as close as possible to what's naturally occurring.
So I just wanted to point out, in general, the majority of cereal is terrible. It's a ton of sugar. If you look really carefully, you can see there are a couple that are not bad, and the regular Cheerios are better than some of the others. But the Frosted Mini Wheats, 60 grams of carbohydrates, and that's 52 of it is sugar. In this is like your whole day's worth for one little serving of cereal.
And who just eats this much sugar? Like,
or
no.
cereal, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, you eat a huge bowl.
I mean, you fill up a massive bowl. It's usually 2 to 3 servings. So that's why you have to check not only what's broken down on the food ingredients list, but you have to see how many servings is it actually in a container.
That's a trick that they do too. So we wanted to throw in some good things because you can eat bread. We need to eat some bread, right? If I tell people they can never eat bread again, they're going to stop listening to me and have no interest. Me as well. But look, if you eat a taco, people tell me, I just had a taco for breakfast. Well, most tortillas are more like this one, and the tortilla has got 24 grams of carbohydrates and 1 gram of fiber. This is a huge glucose spike to your body, but if you were to buy one of these, which honestly, taste pretty good when you warm them up and put some eggs and some avocados on them and stuff. These are terrific. 11 grams of sugar for this one and 8 grams of fiber.
10 grams of
You are doing
fiber.
something really good for your body
Yep.
when you make your taco out of these foods.
Yes.
This is the healthier side. We've got some organic fruits, some edamame noodles, which Anna tells me are delicious.
I want
and I'm
to
gonna
tell you
try.
guys about this. So, for a 2-ounce serving, which is the normal pasta serving, you get 24 grams of protein. 24 grams in a 2-ounce serving. And this is just organic edamame beans. Pretty amazing. So very clean. The other point is, so it does say 20 grams of carbohydrates, however, 13 are fiber. So you're really only consuming 7 grams of sugar because, again, those 13 grams of fiber, our body doesn't store fiber. So we're doing 24 grams of protein, only 7 total carbohydrates, 13 from fiber. So for a woman, that's half of your daily intake right there in a 2-ounce serving, half of your protein intake.
And Anna
Depending
says
on
they're
weight.
delicious.
Yes,
So we'll
and they
see.
cook really fast too.
These are the only 2 things that don't belong on the good side of the table, and I wanted to make a point that yogurt, if you're buying this kind of yogurt, flavored yogurts are mostly sugar, so put them aside. If you're eating Greek yogurt that tastes more like sour cream, that's much higher in protein, healthier. If you can tolerate cow's milk, that's better. But these are just some generals. We appreciate your time. We'll be bringing you more information in other segments, specifically with respect to micronutrients, the different minerals and vitamins and nutrients that our bodies need, magnesium, zinc, all of those things. So thank you again for joining us. Eat healthy.
Thanks.